Hi, this is Lucky Smith reporting for Star River News Magazine, and I'm here with
Theo.
Theo. So we just performed at Red in West
Yes.
Covina. How do you feel about your set?
It was fun. I had a good time. It's nice to be in in Covina. This is kind of where I grew up. I graduated West Covina High in 1991. So.
I went to Covina.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Rivals.
Exactly, but that's just the past, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, how does it feel to be back in your hometown?
I'm here all the time. My mom still lives in West Covina. She lives by West Covina High. All my family lives in this area, so it's nice to be DJing in this side of town. It doesn't happen very often.
And you're like, honestly, you're a legend. Like every rave that I ever cover, every DJM party, they're always like Theo, Theo, Theo. So I didn't know you were originally from this area.
That's where I grew up.
How did you get into becoming a DJ?
Well, back in the day when I was when I started DJing, it was around 1986, and I was about 13 years old. And in this particular part of Los Angeles, there was a lot of party crews and breakdancing crews and stuff like that. So it was either when I was in junior high, it's either you were a DJ or you were a breakdancer. And since I couldn't breakdance very well, I became a DJ by default. So it's just something I kind of fell into, and I just started doing it in junior high and in high school. And then when I graduated high school, I went to my first rave, and I was like, "This is what I want to do. This is incredible." So.
And the rave scene has changed. I mean, when did you first enter the rave scene?
91, 92.
And you know how it's house music, it's techno, but the genres have changed.
There's a lot. Back when I first started going to raves, it was just techno and house. That's it, And now there's just so many different things, so many different offshoots. So it's interesting to see how much the music has grown. And in some ways, I feel the scene has changed, but also I feel the scene hasn't changed. I feel like if someone went to their first rave this weekend, and they'd probably still get that same feeling that I got when I was 18. So I think it's not the scene that changes so much as the fact that people change.
And you start getting older.
Right. What you prefer in a night out changes. You don't want to be, when you're a kid and you go out and there's a lot of different things that you want. When you start becoming more mature and you can drink and you can go to clubs and stuff like that, you totally want a totally different thing. So it all depends, but I don't think the scene changes so much as the people change.
And how is it that you're able to have, because your career as an underground DJ is legendary. How is it that you're able to keep going? Because a lot of people just either
kind of fizzle out,
or OD or something.
well, one thing I've never got into drugs, so that's probably a good reason why.
Why you haven't OD yet?
Yeah, exactly. I think because I love it and I don't stop and I just keep going and I change my style of music all the time.
I see that because it's like you meet a DJ that's from when raves first started.
Mm-hmm.
First, because raves went through 3 different changes, and you hear the music, you're like, okay, I get it's hard techno, but then yours is it's completely up to date to what is.
So I think the reason why I've had the longevity that I've been able to enjoy so far is just the fact that when I look at artists that I love, that I see, like bands that I enjoy, like The Cure or something like that, they change constantly. And I think that's important as an artist. I never follow trends, I just follow what I like. And I think that's kind of been what's maybe unique about me is I just like what I like and that's what I play. And I'm not a DJ that plays hits, I'm not a DJ that plays your commercial stuff or anything like that. I just play what I enjoy, and if you're watching someone who's thoroughly enjoying themselves, I think that's something I think you start to enjoy yourself as well by proxy of watching them. So.
And who are your favorite DJs right now?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
I have favorite artists. I'm really getting into this really nice deep house kind of bassy house sound. So a lot of
dubstep?
No. If you listen to a lot of the Claude Von Stroke stuff and the Dirty Bird stuff, and they're kind of this hybrid of house music and bass music, which is really kind of cool. It's almost like when Speed Garage came out in like '97. It's kind of like that again, where it's like this house tempo and the house beats, but it has this really like jungly bass lines to it. And there's like artists like Dusky and Hot Since '82 and Shadow Child. They're just really pushing house music in different directions. And so I'm really kind of feeling those type of artists right now.
I'm like when you're talking about it, like it's nice to hear more of house music going on to mainstream.
Right. Like, I mean, it's good and it's bad. It's good because it allows people to a new audience for it. But then I also think that artists are trying to be commercial instead of just doing what they like and it becoming commercial. It's like, okay, what can we do to make this a big hit? And sometimes when you do that, you lose the soul of a song, in my opinion.
And musical influences growing up.
Prince. Prince was a huge influence on me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Prince fan. And I grew up with listening to a lot of different music. Luckily, in West Covina, this part of town is very culturally diverse.
Yes.
When I went to high school, there wasn't a majority of anything. It was like really, really mixed. So I used to hang out with the hip hop kids and hang out with the goths and so I was able to like get influence from all these different places. And so I would listen to like Public Enemy and De La Soul and then listen to Joy Division and Bauhaus, and that's what I was into. I was just into everything.
And where do you think music's going to be in 5 years from now?
I think we're I think what electronic music is going through right now is the same thing that hip hop went through a couple of years ago, where they're going to have hip hop that's huge and that's on the radio, like Jay-Z and Kanye and all that stuff. Yeah. And then you're going to have hip hop that's below the radar, that's underground. So you got like Little Brother and those type of things. So I think what you're going to have is these big pop style EDM artists, and then you're going to have people that still do the underground stuff and still do so there's going to be both. There's going to be EDM.
And it's totally different too. Like what you would hear from David Guetta is totally different from what you would hear at a rave.
Right. Yeah. So I think they're both going to go in different directions. And
then, what was your best experience as a DJ? Your favorite moment?
And luckily for me, there's been so many of them. Just being in a desert party and sunrise, and you're DJing, and people are just smiling ear to ear because it's like they've gotten out of their tent and they're ready to dance again, and or spinning in a room where there's 10,000 people going nuts. It's like there's so many unique experiences, and this. I feel blessed that I get to experience any of it. I think it's pretty freaking awesome.
I mean, it is because you're making people happy.
And they're making me happy, so it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship where I get out of it as much as they get out of it.
Yeah, and when's your next show?
I'm going to Tucson tomorrow. I'm going to Salt Lake City on Saturday. I fly back on Sunday, and I'm leaving to Mazatlan on Monday. I'm just going on vacation.
You're going on vacation. So if people want to buy tickets,
go to djtheo.com. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. I'm on all of it.
Do you have anything on iTunes or anything?
Yeah, I have an album that came out this year with a vocalist. Her name is Erin Powers. We had an album called Inspiration.
Okay.
We just had our second single come out with a bunch of remixes, and that's called So Damn Good. The video's on YouTube, and it's just proper house music type stuff.
And where do you? All right, you've been the legendary underground DJ.
I appreciate that.
And is that like, do you want to be known underground, or is it like a time? I mean,
I think I had the opportunity to really kind of push myself into more of a commercial. When I was DJing trans back in the day, that's when it seemed like it was at a peak for me personally. But I never really, the fact that I'm still able to do it 21 years later, to me is incredible. So I don't have any preconceived notions. I don't really think about, do I want to do this or do I want to... Do I want to be
You're just
this
up
big?
there doing your thing.
I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I still get to play music. And to me, that's the most important thing. I don't care if it's for a crowd of 10 or a crowd of 10,000. I still just want to play music. And for me, I think right now I have this new thing that I'm doing called Stylus, which is with my friend Rob. And we're doing a lot of, pool parties and the standard, and we're doing all these. We just did
the one downtown.
Mm-hmm. On the pool.
On Sundays or Saturdays?
We've done both Saturdays and Sundays. The next one we're doing is on November 16th, which is my birthday.
Well,
so
invite us out.
Please.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, we've been there. We covered the standard. I love that place.
Yeah, so November 16th, it's a Saturday. We're doing it from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please come down. I'll take care of it.
Cool. And also, another thing I want to bring up, the reason I asked that question was because it seems like there's like two different cultures in...
Oh, of course, yeah.
In, like, when I interview a DJ that is very mainstream, their whole thing is just about getting more numbers, I guess. And then when I interview a DJ that is underground, their whole thing is just about to the next creative level. So it's very diverse.
Well,
and I trip out because both are great. It's just different.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's people who are artists, and I think there's people that create art, and there's people that create product.
And you create art.
Right. So if you want to create product, you want to get the most people to buy your product, right?
Yes, exactly.
If you do art, you just want people to appreciate your art. So that's the difference.
Do you have any advice out there for anybody who wants to be a DJ?
Don't.
Coming from a legend, that's kind of discouraging.
No, not to be discouraging, but it's just DJing used to mean a lot more, and it doesn't anymore. And I think because it became where anyone could do it. Back when I first started DJing, it took a lot. You had to 1200s were expensive. You had to lug your shit around everywhere. I DJ with a USB stick,